Hello and welcome back to Art Laughs with me, Verity Babs. Today I spoke to Leo Reich. Today I'm here with Leo. Leo, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Leo Reich, and I'm trying to be a comedian at the moment. This is my childhood bedroom behind me, and we know each other from, I guess, comedy,
From comedy world.
comedy
From
adjacent
the,
world.
from the Oxbridge Comedy Circle.
Oh wow! Straight out the gate, people are going to love us. They're
Yeah.
going to love that.
Off.
Mm, mm, fan favorites.
So you have picked a piece which I think, again, just to add to the popularity of this video already, is very sad.
Mm, hmm I have. It is a sad piece of art. Okay, so listen. Here are the headlines. The piece is called The Drowning Dog. It's of a drowning dog. And I don't know what when Verity was like, pick a piece of art, any piece in the world, I thought, I really, for some reason, my soul is really screaming to me, pick that one about that drowning dog that you saw. So that's what I've done. It really is a tiny dog's head just about to sink below the surface of sort of a monstrous browny wave. And that is, at this stage in the game, very relatable to me. Like a feeling. Just the moment before ducking under and just letting it all go. Do you know what I mean? Just honestly getting involved in the water and taking a deep breath. This last minute, he's looking cute. He's got his eyes like.
Yeah, there's a zoomed in picture of just the dog's face that I'll throw up that is very, very sad.
Very sad, very cute. Not entirely sure, I don't think, what's about to happen to him, but like, I think he can put the pieces together.
He
All the
knows.
information is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think this is a. I mean, it's not a modern piece of art, but it does feel of the moment.
It is on brand for
And it,
2020.
yeah, and it's
Certainly.
sort of like, and it's sort of just pre-apocalypse nature. I thought
It
a little
feels
bit
like the first few months of 2020 where like you got your head above water and then they're like, oh, by the way, there's loads of murder hornets, and you're like, just let them at me.
exactly,
Let them have
exactly.
me.
Because ultimately, we're a little tiny puppy dog, and the world is a big scary ocean. And guess what? We're about to drown. We're about to drown, but that doesn't mean we can't be made into a beautiful piece of art while we do it.
Have you seen this piece?
Yeah, so it's in the Prado in Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
which is this big sort of national gallery, and there's a Goya room, so it's by Goya. Um, and I remember thinking it was interesting because like Goya, it's a sort of ahead of its time kind of vibe. I mean, I'm truly making up terms at this stage in the game, but it's 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 got aspects of sort of impressionism,
Mm-hmm.
and it's it's going for a kind of feeling more than a depiction of an object.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I think it's very atmospheric. And I remember standing in the room on a school trip.
This idea of it looks a lot more modern than it is because
Yeah, it's sort of got even kind of like Rothko energy with that big two-tone situation.
dog is so little. Like, it looks like a massive piece. So when you sent it to me just as like a little,
Yeah,
when it was like little JPEG, I was like, okay, so it's a modern abstract thing. And Goya's basically just been like, forget the detail of anything else. Focus on this little guy.
yeah. Here's this tiny little dog, and guess what? He's in a bleak hellscape. And it's really like, ah! It's sort of scary and amazing. And it's in the same room as do you know the one where Saturn's eating his child?
Yeah. Goya loves a hellscape.
Absolutely terrifying, really horrid stuff.
Mm.
Horrid to see. But it's like that, and then this little dog. And then like there's another one that's like a coven of witches. So it's a very cursed room. But there's also, I just also think that even though it's a sad painting, it's like, it's quite a cute dog.
Mm.
And there's a sort of like sweetness to the tragedy. There's like it's not like bleak. It's like pathetic. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess the nice thing about this as well is because it's not like a film, we could be like, this is the drowning dog seconds before a lovely fireman jumped in and got him out.
Yes. Fingers crossed.
You never know. I always watch the Titanic forgetting that not only have I already seen it, but it's also based on real events. But every time I see that going down, I'm like, maybe this time it's going to
maybe they're just going to make it out.
Yeah, no, never mind. But it's interesting, the idea of there being a gallery where there's loads of stuff that Goya paints of like bad stuff happening to people, and you wouldn't be so fussed. But as soon as something bad happens to a dog, you're like,
yeah. So usually I hate that, and I'm definitely not a dog apologist. Well, I don't care about dogs in general. Specifically, I watch Marley and Me and think, thank God that dog has died. It was like wrecking havoc on their lives. What a nuisance. Good riddance in a way.
Yeah.
But there's something about this little guy.
Is it the fact that he's in peril that you're like, at least this has brought dogs down a notch? Because dogs are always happy running about the place, and at least now he might be a bit more humble.
Well, it's just like, yeah, he's definitely been humbled. It's hard to get more humbled than seconds before drowning, isn't it? He's not got a lot of options. I just like the I have to say I'm more about the composition of the stuff than necessarily the personality of the little dog. I think it's something to do with the fact that it's called the drowning dog, so you know in theory that it's in the middle of the ocean about to drown. But also, if you look at it, nothing's screaming ocean to me. Nothing's screaming really anything. It's just like block colours and then a little dog. I think there's something about the use of a tiny little pathetic animal in the midst of swirling, like ambiguous colour that it's like, yeah, I definitely feel like I could be that little dog in the middle of this brown situation. Is it brown? I'm colourblind.
Really? Well, yeah, it is kind of brown, kind of
brown.
Dark.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to be like, is it the ocean? Is it just sort of like a canal? But either way, it's like, it's going to the same place, isn't it? Like the result.
It's going to the same place. It's going to the same place, and that place is, I think, the abyss in both an existential and a literal sense.
And is art something that you sort of grew up engaging with?
I mean, I don't know anything about art. I'll go to a gallery happily, wander around, think, how long am I meant to spend looking at each picture for? Be anxious about that. Probably take cues from whoever I'm with. I like it. I didn't really. It's hard to sort of get into something that you know so little about, I guess, and also because I'm colourblind, I'm not a very visual person. I find it hard to have any like concrete opinions about anything other than I like that.
Yeah, well, I guess that makes a lot of sense of the idea of this being sort of compositionally appealing to you, because any piece, you know, regardless of whether it was like literally monochrome, that would sort of be the only thing that you'd be able to be like, I love that composition, rather than someone might be like, I love that colour.
Yeah, I mean, I can see colours. The other thing that I find cool about this is that, so you walk around this whole big gallery in Madrid, and there are a lot of Goya paintings in it, and a lot of them are like big war scene, portrait of Spanish aristocracy. Really naturalistic, very detailed, very beautiful. And then you get to this room, and it's like this random courtly painter, top of his game, lived a full life of being the most famous painter in Spain and one of the most famous and successful painters in Europe, gets to the end of his career, goes, you know what I want to paint? Yeah, a drowning dog. Little dog drowning. I'm going to spend ages on it, and because it's going to be fucking huge. And it's not even going to have anything in it. It's just going to have big colours and a tiny, tiny dog.
I don't respect anyone who at the end of their career, like imagine like a comedy career, where at the end of his career, Dara O'Brien's like, I just want to blender a cat, and then his agent's like, don't do it, and they're like, he's like, I want to. Do you know what?
Yeah, I want to. Do you know what? I've done my bit. I've played to the gallery, and now this is just for me. Little drowning dog, just for Goya.
This is my secret painting that only I'm allowed to look at.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, having you say that, I mean, again, I don't know, but I remember something about these. This is like his it's called like his dark period or something. All the paintings he did at the end of his life, and I think he put them around his own house. So all these very bleak paintings, they weren't really for anyone else, and then they were taken. I think this is true, but if it's not, fun story.
Yeah, love it. I love a bit of gossip.
I think it's again very punk rock to paint a lot of incredibly depressing pictures and hang them up in your own home, whilst putting on a brave face and painting the monarchy for the public. There
was a question about the arts as like a whole category, and this idea of what is art and things like that, and whether comedy falls into art, because obviously, for the lockdown bailout, it wasn't eligible, like comedy venues and stuff like that. So it's hard to, I think we'll all sort of accept this sort of quite authoritarian idea of fine art is painting, sculptures and drawings and poetry and books probably. And that's probably where most of us stop. But would you view your comedy practice as an artistic practice?
I've said since day one I'm an artiste. I've said that since I came out of the womb. And no, I do not. I'm really tempted to say something like, I don't. If it weren't for the Arts Council thing, I think my genuine answer is it doesn't really matter, really, and unless it's a question of everyone actually needs to say comedy's art, if we want to have any money. Apart from that, it's like it is. I mean, it obviously is, but it's so horrible and demeaning to have to be like, please, we're like Van Gogh in a way. It's like, shut up. And I would just think, shut up. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing my gay jokes to like students. And then I'm like, but also remember it's art. Oh, shut the fuck up. I do understand that is absolutely, to have to listen to someone say that is unbearable on some level. But yeah, I think if you're going for a sort of aesthetic theory kind of approach, I think there's no way you could really exclude comedy from art. It's just weird for like comedians to suddenly be like, but the one thing we are sincere about is that what we do is art. And that's that. Everything else is a joke apart from my career, which is being an artist. It's like, what the hell? What a weird moment to decide that actually total sincerity is completely key.
Well, it's like if someone else says that your hometown is shit, you're like, no, only I'm allowed to say that it's shit. Like, comedians can be like, what a silly industry. But as soon as someone else goes, comedy's not a real job, you go, hang on.
Yeah, it is real.
Leo, thank you so much for joining me this
welcome.
Afternoon, evening. Could you let us know where the best place is to follow you to keep up with what you're doing?
Yes, I can. And it's probably Twitter. And I'm at Leo is tired. Also, follow me on Insta, send me a message. Let's have a drink. I'd love to meet some new people.
Thanks so much for watching. You can follow Leo in the ways written below, and as per usual, you can follow me at VerityBabsArt on Instagram. Please do give us a like and a share and a subscribe and a comment and a like again, and I will see you next time.